Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella, and we got you for the next 30 minutes, and we are talking Major League Baseball, USA at the Olympics, and so much more. You want to get in on the action? There's so many ways to do it. YouTube.com/ The Romanellas. That's youtube.com/The Romanellas. Head over there, hit that subscribe button. Twitter X, Instagram, The Rome Show 1. That's Twitter X and Instagram, The Rome Show. Then the number 1, Facebook.com/The Rome Show. Welcome into the people. Meg, how we doing down under? I appreciate you. If you want to comment in like Meg, you can on youtube.com/The Romanellas or Twitter X, The Rome Show 1. Go ahead and get in on the conversation. Meg and I have been going back and forth about Team Canada over the last few days, and it has been a lot of fun, that banter. But this day, we do not talk about the men's side of the hockey tournament. We will talk about the women's side of the hockey tournament, as USA and Canada are in a crash course for the gold medal round coming up on Thursday. That is going to be a good hockey game. We'll save some of that, though, for the back end of this show and for Hockey with Rocky on a Wednesday. I do not start in hockey or the Olympics, as I've done the last few days. We start in Major League Baseball because yesterday, all right, the owner of the New York Metropolitans, Steve Cohen, came out and spoke about the state of the team and the potential of winning a championship. On the other side of town, or the other side of Florida, I should say, the 3-time MVP and slugger for the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge, had some things to say about Brian Cashman and the front office of the New York Yankees offseason. So we're going to start in Major League Baseball, and we're going to hear from Steve Cohen of the New York Metropolitans. I got 2 clips for you here from the owner of the Mets. First, we'll get started here.
And I think, I think table stakes is making playoffs. Got to make the playoffs, right? I mean, I missed the playoffs last year, missing 2 years in a row. That's not good. And then obviously you want to go deep. And you can't, these are short series. You can't control what goes on in these short series. Anything can happen. But I think the idea is keep putting yourself in that position, year in, year out, which we haven't done. Right? It's been off and on, and so we got to do better. And those are the goals that I'm seeking.
The Mets 100% need to do better. It would be really refreshing if a New York Mets baseball team could make the playoffs on a consistent basis. But I do believe in the history of the Mets, which dates back to 1962, there's never been 3 consecutive playoff-bound teams. So the longest it's ever been is 2 years back-to-back of making the postseason. And right there, Steve Cohen talking about, we just got to get there. We got to become consistent in making the postseason. And I know fans don't want to hear that. Fans want to hear we want to win a championship every year. That's the same thing. Because these owners, these general managers, these front office people in Major League Baseball believe that the playoffs are a crapshoot, which they are. And outside of really the Dodgers, right now at least, it's always a crapshoot. You as a baseball team are only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. Your momentum as a team is only as good as the guy holding that little rubber ball on the circle. That is only as good as your team can be. So a lot of these front office execs and they're right, belief, just get in. Just get in. Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter when, just get in. And if you can get in consistently every year, then clear and obvious your chances for a championship are greater. Though it could look like the New York Yankees, which is a team that makes it every year, but no one feels like they actually have the juice to win the chip. Steve Cohen continued saying this.
I'm absolutely annoyed. Every year it goes by, I get frustrated, and I'm really committed to this team, and I know how much the fans care. I know we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of 1986, and that's just too long. And there's a lot of great teams out there. No matter what you do, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to win the World Series. But I just want to put myself in position every year in the playoffs where we have a chance.
Put myself in position every year in the playoffs where we can have a chance. Steve Cohen said when he got, or bought, I should say, the New York Metropolitans, he stated that he wanted to win a championship in at least the first 5 seasons. The closest the Mets have gotten is the NLCS 2024. Unbelievably underwhelming performance last year with a fully loaded team. A lot of changes this offseason from general manager David Stearns. What does that mean? Well, if you're a Mets fan, I think you're staring at a regime, though only truly one full season removed from being a few games away from the World Series. I think you're looking at a regime in Queens that is on the hot seat. I think your general manager's on the hot seat. I think your head coach is on the hot seat. Hell, I think your best players are on the hot seat. You needed 85 victories in 2025 to make the postseason. You needed 85 victories with a team that brought back every single person from an NLCS run the year before and added what people believed was the best offensive player in Major League Baseball in Juan Soto. 2025 was designed to be the best of the 5 years since Steve Cohen has taken over the Metropolitans. But that was not the case. So McNeil's out. Alonso's out. Edwin Diaz is out. And it's an entirely new team, but with the same superstars, Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto. And so as a Mets fan, as a baseball fan, in general, you want your owner to state, we want to be in the postseason every year. You want your owner to put resources into being a better baseball team. 2 things with which Steve Cohen does, but the facts are the facts. We can only talk so much about what we want this franchise to become. But until the Mets actually find a way to put their money where their mouths are and build a team that can consistently make the postseason, maybe have the same manager, I don't know, for like 6 seasons, that'd be kind of cool. And go into a year not on a roller coaster. Because as a Mets fan, it's in every other scenario. I know in the years where I turn an even number, I turned 36 this year, man, we got a chance. Or in the year after a good year, just don't even watch. It's not even going to happen. That is the history of the New York Mets franchise. Across town, like I said, across Florida, Aaron Judge had some interesting things to say about the Yankees offseason. Let's hear from the 3-time MVP.
Oh, it was brutal. I'm like, I see a lot of free agents out there. I see a lot of guys that, like the Bellingers, the Grishams, the Goldschmidts, like, let's sign these guys right now and then start adding more pieces, because I'm seeing other teams around the league get better. They're making trades. They're signing big prospects or big players. And, we're sitting there for a while, kind of making smaller moves. But, it was tough there in the beginning, but I think once we solidified getting Bellinger back, we got Trent being our center fielder, be our leadoff guy for another year. And then you had a guy like Goldie, some of the back end, bullpen pieces that we've been doing. I think we're in a good spot. But the early on, it was pretty tough to watch. So I'm like, man, we're the New York Yankees. Let's go out there and get the right people, get the right pieces to go out there and finish this thing off, because we got a special group of players here. We got a good core, a good young core. So yeah, it was frustrating, but I think we're right where we need to be.
He said, man, we are the New York Yankees. That's a direct shot. A direct shot at the front office. And Aaron Judge is 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. And Meg wrote in, there's my boy, love you 99, let's go Yankees. And I think that every Yankees fan would feel the same way. Now, I know Meg living in the world of probably being a Mariners fan first, but if you like the New York Yankees, hell, if you like Major League Baseball, if you are a fan of this sport, you gotta love Aaron Judge. You gotta love him. He is a fan-first superstar. He is a media-first superstar. He's a team-first superstar. He's a first superstar in any light you can think of. Aaron Judge is the prototypical guy that everyone should want on their team. He can hit for power. He can run. He plays great defense. He's smart. He's a leader. He shows up almost 160 games a year, minus like a freak injury where he ran into the fence. Like, the dude has all of the attributes. And he is sitting up there in a press conference in February, essentially looking at you, Brian Cashman, and going, yo, my guy, should I remind you that we're the New York Yankees? Should I remind you that we have the most championships in the history of sports? We are literally the greatest franchise to ever exist. I could arguably, with a few World Series rings on my finger, be the greatest franchise player to ever exist. Probably a long shot in that history. But it's not far-fetched. It's not crazy to think that a guy that's been 3-time MVP of the league, multiple 50-homer games, the most homers for an AL hitter ever in a season. It's not crazy to think that that man can't not be one of, if not the greatest Yankee of all time, but it's not going to happen without the World Series. You can't be in that Mount Rushmore of elite level Hall of Famers without a World Series. Can your number be retired? Sure. Can you be in Cooperstown? Absolutely. He's already there probably. Can you be a top 10 greatest Yankee of all time? Absolutely. But you can't be the greatest of all time if you have not won a World Series ring. But unfortunate in team sports, and more specifically baseball, you got to have the pieces. You got to have the pieces. And when you're sitting there as Aaron Judge and you're watching what Mookie Betts gets in Los Angeles, the resources, the recommitment, the want to win every single year, and you see it, how could you not be upset and frustrated if you're Aaron Judge? And you see some of these players signing, some of these moves being made, and you're like, yo, again, we are the New York Yankees. That is how we should be operating. Not a great start to camp, if you ask me, from the team from the Bronx. Though, at the end of the day, whether he made those comments or not, the Yankees, in my opinion, are a 93-win baseball team who will be fighting for the AL East, possibly win it, possibly lose it. I think they win it this year. And then again, like Steve Cohen said, it is a crapshoot in the postseason. Meg, did the Mets choke in your opinion? What do they have to do to get there? Well, we need to play defense. Defense wins championships. I've been talking about that. I talk about that in every sport. But the Mets were atrocious defensively last season. So we're going to start there. Okay. Secondly, a bullpen, consistent, stays healthy the entire year. Another starting pitcher. There's a few things that I felt like the Mets didn't do a great job of last year. And yes, to answer the initial question, they choked. You can't have the talent on that roster up and down last year. And the circumstances around you. That's the other thing. Like, think about what we talk about with the New England Patriots this year. Well, I mean, it makes sense that they were good this year. They didn't play that hard of a schedule. Well, how about this path? How come, what's his name, got fired in Buffalo? Well, because we all felt like this was the easiest path for the Buffalo Bills to make the World Series. I mean, Super Bowl. I mean, there's no true, real easy path, but all of those factors play into it. And when you look at all those factors and you start to play that, you're like, only need 85 wins last year. And we had a team that was the second highest payroll, if not the highest payroll in Major League Baseball. And again, money doesn't always equate to wins, but smart money decisions generally do. And money's equating for wins in LA because they're making the right decisions. And we can get into the deferred money, but we won't today, so we can finish this show. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come back. We got your Olympic update, including Team USA headed to the gold medal game in women's hockey. We love it. You love the Rome Show, so don't leave. We'll back after this.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Yeah, the Rome Show. Welcome back in. It's a Tuesday, February 17th, 2026, 7:07, state of New Jersey. You know, I'm a big radio fan, big sports radio fan. So obviously, like most people, you're influenced by your environment or the things you hear or the things you do or whatever the case is. And I realized when I was listening back to the show last week, as some critique on myself, I realized that I started to do the 707 state of New Jersey thing. And I'm like, why the hell am I doing that? And I realized, though, that one, if I listen to my favorite shows, it's something that they do when they come back from commercial break. So you truly are influenced by your environment. But secondly, I want to prove to the people that we're live here. Okay, now, obviously, I'm not live for everyone, because if you listen to the show later on in the day, well, sorry, but at least you know that at one point in time, I wasn't lying to you, and we were live. 7:08, not going to waste another minute on that conversation. We're getting right into our topics for the day. We'll pop the music on, and we'll get going, starting in the Olympics with a historic day for Elena Myers-Taylor, the oldest gold medalist in U.S. Olympic history and the Winter Games history. She's also now tied for the most amount of medals for a female winter sport athlete with 6. Elena Myers-Taylor, 41 years old. She won gold, her first gold medal in monobob yesterday, which is the single bobsled going down the hill. Prior to this Olympics, she had collected 5 medals, 2 bronze and 3 silver. But that's not all, because her teammate Humphreys Ambruster, she finished in bronze. Why is that important? Because both Humphreys and Elena not only are above the age of 40, shout out to them, but they're also mothers. Yes, both of them are moms. Elena with 2 kids, Humphreys with 1. And we had a quote from Humphreys yesterday that simply said, we can show people that just because you turn 40 doesn't mean that it's over. Just electric stuff. out of Elena and Humphreys. Not only cool winning the gold, not only cool seeing the history, but just cool watching women do things that people don't believe that they can do. Fantastic stuff. Shout out Elena. Shout out Humphreys. We mentioned before the break, Team USA women's hockey headed to the gold medal game. That's right. They will be playing Canada on Thursday in the gold medal matchup. If you were wondering, I know you were, the last 6 gold medal matchups between Team USA and Canada have gone 4-2 in the favor of Canada. USA won the first ever Olympic hockey tournament in 1998, with their second gold coming 20 years later in 2018. Canada taking the gold in 2002, 2010, 2014, and 2022. So overall, though, 11 meetings in Olympic play, Canada leading the series 7-4, and that includes USA's 5-0 rout of Canada in the pool play round. Team USA is outscoring their opponents 31-1. What? In their 5 games in the Olympics so far, and have the longest shutout streak in the history of Olympic hockey, 331 minutes and 23 seconds for Team USA. But all of that is for none, ladies and gentlemen, if Team USA does not secure a gold medal against Canada on Thursday. You are about to watch a clash of titans when you watch this gold medal matchup. This has been what everybody has been gearing up for from the jump on this tournament. I think because USA routed Canada so much in pool play, it gives you a little bit of an altered view on what could happen in this contest. At the end of the day, this is probably going to overtime, probably going to a shootout, probably coming down to the last 5 minutes, 1-goal game, maybe 2-goal game. That's what I believe. Because I believe what happened in the pool play is an anomaly for Canada. That team is too good. Those ladies are too good, and they should presumably have their best athlete back in uniform. Does that mean I'm automatically saying that USA is going to lose it? No. As you can see on your screen, they're favored by 1.5. Total 5.5 in this contest. I'm going to take Canada at the plus 1.5. Doesn't mean I think they're going to win. I just think it's going to be a tight contest, and I'm keeping it under 5.5. It's going to be a goalie matchup. We have more to talk about that on tomorrow when we get Rocky on the show. Some other news around the world before we get out of here today. Tyreek Hill was released by the Miami Dolphins after 4 seasons in the teal and orange. Tyreek Hill tore his Achilles in week 4 this season for the Dolphins, and that was actually, though we might not have known it then, the last game for Tyreek in a Dolphins uniform. Tyreek Hill, 340 receptions, 4,733 yards, and 27 TDs during his time as a Miami Dolphin. That is your news and notes from around the world. Here is your medal count. Team USA resides in the 3 spot. A few more golds and bronzes, as we mentioned yesterday. Norway, 12 gold, 7 silver, 9 bronze, 28 total medals in the last 2 Winter Olympics. So 2022 and 2026, the country of Norway has more gold medals than any country in those 2 Olympic Games. There was an awesome piece on Norway yesterday prior to, I think, the figure skating event maybe, or the alpine skiing. I can't remember which one I was watching it before. And we talked about this on the Rome Show yesterday. Okay, Rome Show podcast, maybe it's your podcast if you want to go back on that. But Norway has a different way of doing things with their younger athletes, and it is a difference maker. What Norway does with its youth athletes, how they create love and opportunity for them to try different sports, it is awesome. And it clearly, once we get to the international stage, pays off, because that's a country of nearly 5.5 million. So not as big as a lot of these nations, and they are consistently at the top of that medal chart when it comes to the Winter Olympics. I just wanted to say this on my way out because I read a story yesterday about a shooting in a hockey rink in Rhode Island. Yeah, brutal. Just like disturbing stuff you read that you should never read in the history of time. And I want to take my last 30 seconds on the show to say, what are we doing? Seriously. Like, what are we doing? And it was beautiful to watch the Norway segment or yesterday while watching the Olympics, because that is truly what is it about. How have we gotten to the point where we are firing weapons at people during high school hockey games? I don't care what state, what country, or what world you live in. We, as sports people, need to do better. Whether you're the fan, whether you're the official, whether you're the coach, whether you're the player, whether you're somebody else associated with these youth sporting events. But this is the second, and it's only the second in my world. This is the second in the last 3 days that I've heard of. I heard of a 10U basketball fight the other day where parents were getting kicked out of the gym. What are we doing? Sports are meant to change lives. Not that way, though. Sports are meant to change lives positively. Sports are meant to teach you life lessons, create friendships, memories, teach you heartbreak, but not that type of heartbreak. No kid should ever be playing a high school hockey game and then all of a sudden, one, fear for their life, and two, wonder if their parents are going to still be there. In general, we as sports people, I don't care where you are, need to take a play out of the Norway book, because that is how we should be treating sports, especially for our young people. It's disturbing to keep hearing these stories. And if you're within earshot of this microphone and you have an athlete playing a sport, you have a child playing a sport, chill. Just chill. Okay? Your 7-year-old son, your 9-year-old daughter, your 11-year-old, whatever. We don't know if they're going to be Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, Elena Myers-Taylor. We don't know. Let them have fun. Let them play the game. Let them live. The 10U championship that they win in travel soccer does not matter. The 11U basketball tournament does not matter. It's stupid. Teach the kids the right thing. Make sure they have fun. Stop being the problem. Have a good rest of your Tuesday. I'm Andrew Romanella. We will be back tomorrow morning, I don't know, roughly 7 a.m., as we tell you every day. Meg, I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day down under. Thank you to the people that listen to the show and support us. I really love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you for listening.